Hello, Bryan Colter here, Evolutionary Astrologer, for another horoscope report for the upcoming Cancer full moon. That happens on the 26th. I'm recording this on the 24th, Christmas Eve. So Merry Christmas, everybody. Happy holidays. And I hope you enjoy this video. And if you do, please like, subscribe, share it with your friends. It really helps me a lot in spreading this information. And we won't waste any more time. Let's go ahead and pull up the chart and see what's going on during this lunar event. Okay, so as you can see, we have this beautiful Cancer full moon at about 5 degrees of Cancer. Implicit in this is it's opposed the sun at 5 degrees of Capricorn. So here we are entering into this Capricorn season. But looking at the moon, I don't need to know anything else going on in the sky to know that this is a very strong moon, because moon is said to be the planet that rules the sign of Cancer. And here it is in its own sign. Now, full moons are always big moon events. The full moons once a month is when the moon is at maximum power. But we take that maximum power of this full moon and basically we double it because of its affinity with the sign of Cancer. So this is one of the most lunar times of the entire year. And the grand archetype for the moon is that of the Great Mother. It's a beautiful image. The Great Mother nurturing all life. And Cancer, also a symbol, a sign related to the idea of nurturing and caretaking and healing, is a water sign. And water nurtures life. Without water, we can't imagine physical life. And this does accentuate this idea of feeling, because Cancer is related to the subjective, our emotional world. All water signs are. Cancer is the most sensitive sign in the zodiac, emotionally speaking. And the moon, too, is about heart. It's about soul. So this is a soulful, feeling-oriented moon, powerfully oriented in that direction. And the emotions of it are also oriented towards the healing or nurturing or supporting of, yes, other beings, but also healing ourselves. And it's important to have a balanced relationships with these archetypes where you're taking care of yourself, but you're also taking care of other people, at least when we're talking about the moon and Cancer. Another layer to the Great Mother archetype is the idea that it's linked to family. Words like family, hearth, clan, kinship, the ties that bind, blood is thicker than water. This is the symbols of bonded relationship. That was the classical term when talking about Cancer, moon, even the 4th house of the chart, which resonates with these symbols as well. And of course, many of you are visiting family, that just fits so beautifully here. Being in a warm home with your family, exchanging love, exchanging ideas, exchanging, good food, taking care of each other. There's some tension going on with some of these planets, which might bring out some fire and some fierce exchange within family stuff. But we're just looking at the purity of moon and Cancer. It's about heal thyself, heal others. Let's bond deeply. Let's exchange love. Let's exchange sweetness, empathy, compassion, and just focus on feeling good. Because, this was kind of a bumpy year, 2023, which I'm sure you've noticed, especially the 4th quarter of this year. The eclipse season was rough. October 7th happened right during the eclipses. And then right after that, we had Mars going through its own sign of Scorpio. So there's a lot tied up in that. I'm not going to repeat all that. You can look back to the previous videos from that month to understand what was going on then. But there was a high degree of intense energy flowing through humanity. And it created a lot of havoc and complication in the world. I mean, there was ways to get those events right, to work with them proactively, but it was really a tough set of energies. So, this is a good time to think back retrospectively over the last year. Here it is about to end. Moon and Cancer, let's go within. Let's enter into the subjective. How do I feel about how this year went? And feel the positive feel the negative, feel it within yourself, come to terms with it, and get ready for new horizons. 2024, of course, we're going to be talking about that in future videos, but it's going to be a pretty wild year, wild, unpredictable, a bit chaotic. In a lot of ways, it feels like the final chapter of a book before 2025, which will very much feels like a new book. So, things are coming to an end next year. And, meanwhile, we're preparing for that and looking back at this year and feeling where we're at. And meanwhile, if you sustained a damage in 2023, it's a good idea to get cozy. That's Moon in Cancer, to curl up on the couch, to read a book, to exchange feelings and love and nurturing with those you really care about and them to you. So it's a good time to lick your wounds and find sanctuary during the rest of this holiday season as you take pause and get ready for the new year. Now, there is a lot of connection with those you love, spending time with those you love, but I also want to reference the need for some solitude, because we recognize that, yes, okay, the moon is on center stage here, the most lunar period of the entire year. That's really in the spotlight, but we never want to forget about the fact that we're in Cancer season. And this is a very different set of energies. It's the Hermit archetype. It's linked to the planet that rules it, Saturn, known as the Lord of Solitude. So there's a lot of family energy here in connection with those you love, but it's important to find balance with the opposition, to also find a kind of solace in private time and not have too much of one extreme or the other, and try to find a balance between the two. Opposite signs are opposite sides of the same coin. So both the Capricorn and Cancer are linked to nurturing. It's the classic father and mother archetypes. It does have that very much that yin-yang polarity. And there is different styles of being a parent, for example. It's the axis of parenting as well. But Capricorn adds a particular emphasis on the need for bonding now. It's the sign of integrity, the sign of commitment and vows. And here it is in strong opposition with this nurturing, healing, parenting, family type energy. This extends beyond just, our family of origin or the family we create. Of course, this is linked to, the animals we have in our lives, and also really close friendships, people that we would consider family. So when we talk about from the evolutionary astrology perspective, how do we work with these energies? It really boils down to that. Again, the moon is in the spotlight. So self-healing, healing of others, and spending time licking our wounds. That's really the main ingredient here. And that sounds great. It's like, oh, we could all use a little R&R, a little respite, But that's not to say that there isn't a little tension in the sky as well. Here I was talking about, Q4 was pretty rough this year with the moon in, the Mars in Scorpio in the eclipse season. And we're still, feeling the brunt of that energy. Anything major that happens during an eclipse tends to ripple out for at least the next 6 months, So here we are, at the beginning of that large eclipse wave, if you will. So there's the way this tension could be made manifest most prominently, again, generalizing across the collective, really, in my mind, all comes down to this Mars in Sagittarius right next to Mercury in Sag. Mercury is in retrograde, and they're in an extremely tight, what's called square aspect to Neptune in Pisces. You can see Neptune's here at 25 degrees, and then Mercury's at 25 degrees of Sag, along with Mars there. So squares can be quite challenging. And Mars does have a rather aggressive energy. Mars, the war god in the sign of philosophy. This is something I've been talking about pretty much all of December. So this will be a little repetitive, but it's even stronger now because you can see the conjunction super tight between Mars and Mercury. It's known as a tight applying conjunction because Mercury is kind of moving backwards in the sky from our perspective. Mars is moving forward at full blast, and they're about to, hit exactitude towards the end of the year here. So The conjunction couldn't be stronger, and of course the square to Neptune complicates things even more. Mercury is the planet of communication, the planet of our thoughts and how we perceive reality. So Mars, the war god, has entered our collective mouths. That's the image we can work with, and it's armed and dangerous and ready to speak its truth. Because Mercury is the planet of communication, and here it is in the idealistic Sagittarius, who is sometimes accused of being so idealistic as to be impractical. And even the moon in Cancer is accused of that from time to time, because the moon tends to feel rather than think. So here we have this powerful feeling-oriented time, really adding fuel to the fire of ideas here with Mars and Sagittarius conjunct Mercury. And we talk about, of course, just riffing on the symbols, so we could see how that could get us into trouble. People can bring nuclear warheads in terms of their ideas. And, during tense times where there's, perhaps a little more pain and suffering in the planet, since the eclipse season, that intensity is felt quite strong during this maximum lunar time, and is expressed through the mind, through the mouth, with a bit of a sharp tongue, perhaps, a cutting wit, ideas that can be, let's say, a bit dogmatic. That can be a challenge with Sagittarius. So, it's been a bumpy road. People are feeling stressed in a lot of ways. Of course, there are exceptions. This is all generalizations. But the frustration, the martial frustration expressed through the mouth with this sort of religious zealotry, like, I know the one truth, my opinion is right. And if it's expressed in a more antagonistic and combative, egoic, prideful way, which Mars certainly can and will in some cases, it really comes from this place of attacking with ideas. I'm right, you're wrong, feeding into the polarity consciousness instead of unity consciousness, driving us further apart because of our ideas. Now, it is true. Sagittarius, it is the sign of the philosopher. It is, trying to find the North Star that guides your life. At some point, the heart has to say, this is true for me. This is what I believe. And, we all have that. And not everybody's beliefs are in alignment with each other, needless to say. And it is a fact that you have two people, let's say, with two very differing ideas. It's true, one person's idea is going to be closer to the truth than the other person's idea, like the actual truth with a capital T. And the other person's truth is going to be farther from the truth with a capital T than the other person. And somebody's always going to be more right than the others. Of course, each person believes they're the one who's more right than the other, so who is more right than the other? It doesn't really matter. I mean, it does matter in a certain way, but to not feed into the tension of this energy, because this can be a bit of a trap, especially with Mercury in retrograde. Retrograde planets, the energy of that planet is turned inwards. It's more introverted. And in the case of Mercury, Mercury representing the mind of the collective is more turned inward. It's more wanting to navigate reflection, which is a beautiful word associated with Moon in Cancer as well. Let's go within. Let's think of an idea, a belief, and let's feel into it. It's a very personal thing. So Mercury in retrograde is best used when entering into reflection. Meanwhile, Mars and Sagittarius, both these symbols, are much more about action and aggression and being assertive with one's ideas. And when you mix these two very different energies up into a cocktail, and what happens when you drink it, can be a lot of miscommunications, wrong perceptions about other people's ideas and how they're conveying it. So misinterpretations. We add in Neptune square to the mix, which can add a bit of let's say, confusion or disassociation or even deception in some cases. So getting one's idea across can be quite difficult, to do it in such a way where the other person can hear it with a sense of clarity. Now, when we talk about what's the evolutionary intention here, it's basically becoming more assertive with one's speech, but simultaneously recognizing that speech is a little bit more difficult. Hearing is a little bit more difficult now. And healthy communication, of course, is a two-way street. If we can enter into conversations with those we love, with family, and instead of it getting combative, I mean, there's many relationships, even within families, that have deteriorated over the last few years because of ideas. This makes me think of my good friend Hunter Reynolds. He's an astrologer, and he recently wrote an article on his website called, I think it's called Opining or Divining. It's a beautiful article that touches on this idea, this set of energies so beautifully. And he's got a lot of Sagittarius and Gemini energy in his chart, and you can really feel it oozing from every sentence in that article. It's a beautiful read. I'll put a link below in the show description if you're interested. It really speaks to the spirit of these energies. So again, the boilerplate focus of Moon in Cancer is heal thyself, heal others, nurture, find sanctuary. Okay. Meanwhile, recognizing compassionately that people's ideas are on the tip of the tongue, ready to be expressed. Now, it's not going to affect everybody on the planet. Not everybody's going to be running around yelling at each other what they believe to be the truth. But, this is really going to be manifested much more frequently than what is considered normal during this time, especially for those folks where you have this Mars, Mercury, Neptune activating a very powerful place in their own personal chart. They'll be feeling this more than the average bear. So, yes, speak our truth, but recognizing there's some tension here. Mars is passionate. A strong moon is passionate about ideas and what they want to say. And to not get caught up in any sort of drama associated with ideas that drive people further apart, and really enter into the idea, the feeling as well of let's connect, let's heal, and let's not separate because of our ideas and what we believe to be true. And sure, there might be some cases where maybe I need to be more assertive about what I feel, but trying to do that without pride, which means trying to do that without expectation of outcome, and just let the information rip in a compassionate way, and really focus on unity consciousness so there isn't any more separateness, so people don't devolve into fear or anger or rage or pride, and instead love, light, compassion, empathy, all these beautiful higher octave expressions of Moon in Cancer, Moon, the Great Mother. So Merry Christmas, everybody. These are the core evolutionary intentions, with the goal being to expand our consciousness. Now we'll transition into the meditation as usual, and please use headphones for best results. Enjoy. Make yourself comfortable. This meditation is best done lying down, but sitting is okay too. And just relax every muscle in your body. And focus on your breath. With each slow inhale, you feel that expansion in your body. And with each exhale, you feel relaxed. As you blow out all the stress of the day. And focus on your physical body. And wrap your entire body with your attention. And focus on the right hand. And bring your attention all the way to the right thumb fingertip. And feel the fingernail of the right thumb. And begin to visualize etheric vitality in your right thumb as a snow white color. And begin to see, hear, and feel this white energy move from your right thumb to your index finger. And now to your middle finger, ring finger, and the pinky. And see the energy flow into your right palm. And now the back of the hand, the right wrist, lower arm, elbow, upper arm, right shoulder, armpit, flow down your right rib cage into your waist, the right waist, right hip, into the thigh, and see this etheric vitality in the back of your thigh, and now the front of your thigh, the right kneecap, back of the knee, shin, calf muscle. Now into the right ankle, now the heel, into the sole, and now into the right big toe, second toe, third, fourth, and fifth. And now flow up into the top of the right foot and expand your awareness throughout the entire right side of your body. See this white energy in the right side of your body. Now move your attention to your right thumb. See, hear, and feel this white energy go into the index finger, middle, ring, and pinky. And now into the palm of the left hand. Back of the hand, wrist, lower arm, elbow, upper arm, shoulder, armpit, left waist, hip, back of the left thigh, front, kneecap, back of the left knee, shin, calf muscle, down into the left ankle, heel, sole, top of the left foot, left big toe, second toe, third, fourth, and fifth. And now spread your awareness throughout the entire left side of your body. And now feel this subtle life force at the top of the head, at the crown, into the forehead, right eyebrow, left eyebrow, right eyelid, left eyelid, right eye, left eye, nose, tip of the nose, upper lip, cheeks, lower lip, chin, and now spread up both jaw lines into both ears and wrap around the back of the head. And now down into the neck. And now feel your entire head and neck. Now move into the chest area and sternum, stomach, and down into the groin. Now feel the entire front side of your body. And now the back side of your body. And see this white energy glowing in the entire physical body. In your mind's eye, feel your entire body and see yourself shining with this bright snow white energy. And this etheric vitality is stimulating every cell of your physical body. Now, on the count of 3, I want you to imagine all of your cells dying in a split second and immediately replaced by all new cells. 1, 2, 3. And I want you to forget all the memories of the past. You are now reborn. Imagine yourself as reborn. And this is your first day on earth. You are now a clean slate. Now I want you to imagine that your future self from 1 year from now walks into the room and is now standing before you. And since you've forgotten all past memories, you only have the memories between now and 1 year from now. And take some time here to allow your future self to explain to you all the accomplishments and successes that you've had over the last year. She might even give you some reasons why you've accomplished them. And let the imagery of your mind flow. You might start to generate pictures of how that might have happened or what that might look like. And just have the curiosity of a child and wonder to your heart's content. There's no need to consider how these things are possible. He or she is just explaining it to you as if it's already happened. Feel the excitement of the year before you. Now imagine your future self now turning into a bright, shimmering light and dissolving into you. And feel this mist surrounding you, favoring you, a mist that's very pleased with you. And feel as though your body is a sponge absorbing that mist. Allow your mind to describe a few words that would describe this upcoming year for you. What words come up regarding these successes of this year? It might only be a couple, but that's okay. Just let the mind flow as you bring information and insight in. Now, as we prepare to end this meditation and as the music fades, I want you to keep your eyes closed, but to take your hands and bring them up to your face and allow them to cover your face. And consider as if you're about to step through a doorway into that future. And when you slowly start to open your eyes, also start to open your hands as if you're starting to open and step through a portal or a doorway into a new future. Welcome to your new timeline.